My dear students, welcome again to my online class. This is Mohammed Salim Sikder, Assistant Professor, Department of English, now for the Government College, Laksham, Kumilla. Dear boys and girls, how are you? I hope you are safe and sound at home. This is a matter of hope that our on-campus classes will start very soon. Then we shall meet in our classrooms again. Dear boys and girls, in the previous class, we started a poem written by John Donne. The name of the poem is The Good Morrow. It was a metaphysical poem. In the previous class, we discussed the characteristics of a metaphysical poem and started to read the poem. We wanted to find out the metaphysical characteristics in this poem. And the first stanza of the poem, we found that the speaker of the poem is in love with his beloved, but before the awareness of their love, what they were. He depicted us what they were before the awareness of their love affairs. He took the help of some metaphysical concepts to express his ideas. He compared themselves to breastfeeding babies. He compared themselves to innocent children. He compared themselves to seven sleepers, and he tried to express his opinion by taking the help of these concepts. My dear students, let's get started. Another stanza of the poem. In the second stanza, the speaker, what the speaker tells. And now, good morrow to our waking souls. He wants to wish good morning to their waking souls. Now they have the awareness of their love affair. So he wants to wish good morning to their waking souls. Now both of them have understood that they love each other. They love each other, which watch not one another out of fear. Now he tells that they should not look at each other with doubt. They are now without any doubt. They don't have any doubt in each other because they love each other. They don't have fear to lose each other. For love, all love of other sides controls. Now he generalizes the love. He generalizes love. He tells us that love has a great power, a great strength, which can control everything in this world. Which can control everything in this world. Because when a person falls in love with any other person, the power of true love prevents him or her from falling in love with other men or women. This is the fact. That means if you love any other person truly, you don't need to fear of falling in love with another person. A true love resists you to fall in love with other persons. This is the power of love. This is the strength of love, and makes one little room and everywhere. He also tells us that love can make its room in every heart. There is no heart in this world which is not loyal to love. Is there any person in this world who uh, does not respond to love, any love sequence or any love request, etc.? That means every heart uh, yields to love. Let's see, discovers to new worlds of God. He tells that the speaker of the poem tells that the sea discoverers, that means the adventurous person who always look for new land, who always try to find out new lands in this world. This is uh, this is the poem from Elizabethan period, and that is why in that time the English people were roaming all over the world to find out new worlds. For that reason, the speaker tells us that the sea discoverers may find out new land, may find out new lands. Let maps to other the cartographers. He tells the cartographers to show those new lands in their maps. Cartographers means who draw maps of the world. So sea discoverers may find out new worlds. Cartographers may draw those new worlds in their maps, but let us possess one world. He tells us that both the lover and the beloved has one world, each of them. Each hath one and is one. But he tells us that for love, for true love, for real love, their two miniature worlds has become only a single world. Has become only a single world. That means they are pleased with their own world. They are pleased with their own world. They need nothing more. The lover and the beloved need nothing more. They each of them have one world, but both world together make a both worlds together make a single world. Make a single world. There is another concept here. The miniature world is compared with the real world. The miniature world is compared with the real world. There is another concept. So in this stanza, in the second stanza of the poem, we have found that the lovers awareness of their love affair, and the generalization of love, which has great strength, great power to control everything on earth, which have power to make a corner in each heart, in each heart of human beings. And that is why he also told us that he also tells us that the speaker of the poem also tells us that uh, if a lover loves his beloved truly, they don't need to have a vast world, because they themselves have they themselves have a miniature world of each, and this miniature worlds constitute a single world because of their love. So in this stanza, we have found the power of love. We have found the power of love which can control everything in this world. Let's read the third stanza of the poem. My face in thine eye, thine in my appears. My face in thine eye, thine means your. I can watch my face in your eyes. Thine in my appears, and you can see your face in my eyes. I can see your face, my face in your eyes, and you can see your face in my eyes. And two plain hearts do in the faces rest, and we can say that sometimes the condition of our hearts can be seen in our faces, can be seen in our faces. Where can we find to better hemisphere without sharp north, without declining west? He tells us that in the previous stanza, he tells us that both of them has constituted a single world, and this world, in comparison with the real world, this world doesn't have to discomforts like like sharp north, that is the North Pole, um, which is totally covered by ice, and declining west, which is uh, which is notorious for excessive temperature. Not well, that means they constitute, both of them constitute a world which doesn't have the discomfort of the real world. Whatever dies was not mixed equally. He tells us that if colors, if colors are not mixed in equal proportion, in right proportion, you cannot get your expected color. You cannot get expected color. If the proportion is not correct, you cannot get expected color. If our two loves be one, or thou and I loves so alike, that means he tells us that if the intensity of love is equal from his side and his beloved side, that means if he uh, loves his beloved, uh, and his beloved loves him in equal proportion, that none do slacken. That means no one uh, can, no one can uh, slacken them, slacken it. No one can break it. No one can uh, make it loose, make their love affair loose. Slacken means loose, to make loose. That means no one can separate them. No one can separate them from each other. None can die. And such type of intensity of passion, such type of intensity of love will make them immortal. Will make them immortal. That means in the last stage of the poem, he tells us that if love is true, if love is real, and if love is in good proportion, in same proportion from each other, this love will never die. This love affair will never die, and this kind of love will make the lovers immortal in this earth. That means it tells us that if they have equal intensity of passion or right proportion of passion for each other. Their love will never die, and even after their death, they will continue to love each other. After their death, they will continue to love each other. My dear students, let us find the concepts in this poem. Number one, the comparison between the unaware lovers and the breastfeeding babies. Number two, the comparison between the unconscious lovers and the seven sleepers who slept for 200 years. Number three, the comparison between the lovers' micro world and the real world. The comparison between the two hemispheres and the two lovers. These are the concepts in this poem, and we have already found that the poem starts abruptly, suddenly. We have got another characteristic in this poem, that is dramatic quality. The poem is in the form of a dialogue, in the form of a dialogue, and we have got some resemblance. We have got some uh, resemblance to dramatic monologue. Dramatic monologue. Uh, we know that when a single speaker speaks and some silent listeners are listening, this kind of poem is called dramatic monologue. But this poem has dramatic quality, but it is not a dramatic monologue. It has dialogue. Here the speaker speaks only, and his beloved is the silent listener. But there is a lack of psychological tension in this poem. And for the lack of psychological tension, it has not become a dramatic monologue. It is a metaphysical poem. The dramatic quality is another characteristic of metaphysical poem. In the second stanza, the lover very confidently invites his beloved to welcome their love. He compares each of them, to two separate worlds and says that they together constitute a single world. In this stanza, he generalizes that pure love saves a lover from falling in love with any other person. That means if a person loves his beloved truly, purely, he will never fall in love with any other person. In the third stanza, the lover again admits that they are separate individuals, but he emphasizes the inseparable union of their souls. That means they are individuals. Of course, they are individuals, two individuals, but their souls are one. But their souls are one. The union of the souls, they confidently demands, will continue even after death. He tells us that even after his death, after their death, they will continue to love each other. Thus, the theme of love of this poem develops logically from surprise to confidence and then to immortality. That means uh, we have already found that the theme of the poem is love. The theme of the poem is love, and he develops the theme at first with surprise, then to confidence, and at last it has become immortal. It has become immortal. My dear boys and girls, the poem is free from bitterness, grief, and cynicism. There is no bitterness in this poem. There is no grief, grief, expression of sadness in this poem, and there is no cynicism. There is neither disappointment nor disgust. A note of contentment runs through the poem. Contentment. The lover, the speaker of the poem is content with his love affair with his beloved. In the beginning, the tone of the poem is surprise, then it shifts to contentment, and finally to spirituality. So, if you are asked what is the tone of this poem, at first it starts surprisingly, that means the tone of the poem is surprise, then the tone of the poem is contentment, and at last it has become spiritual. That means the last tone of the poem is spirituality, immortality. To my dear boys and girls, I hope you have understood the poem. From this poem, you have to know at first, you have to read the poem again and again with Bangla meaning. Then, you have to know the theme of the poem. Then, you have to find out the tone, attitude, and position of the poem. Position, you have to find out the attitude, tone, and position. Then, uh, you have to uh, find out the metaphysical characteristics of this poem. And I hope after reading in such a way, you will be able to understand the poem properly. So, my dear boys and girls, in the next class, I hope we'll meet in the classroom, and in the classroom, we shall study another poem. Uh, till then, goodbye. See you in the next class.